Reusse Unchained, presented by Josh Arnold, investment consultants, Mr. Money Talk. And I feel like this has happened maybe 4 or 5 times in the last few months where we just get breaking sports news right before we hit record with Pat.
All right. I'm ready.
What would you guess is the breaking NFL news? Do you have any thought?
Deshaun Watson has been put in prison. No, I don't know what it would be.
Robert Saleh is looking for employment as of this morning.
Yeah, I guess that would have been a pretty easy one to fix. Aaron Rodgers obviously is not going to take responsibility for being rotten, so they got to do something else. But that's who did we promote from the staff? Have they
not Nat Hackett? Not who is it? Jeff? What's his name? Jeff Ulrich?
Jeff Ulbrich.
Ulbrich.
Never heard of him. What's
and you won't again.
He's the backwards hat, gray bearded guy, like a very well manicured gray beard.
He had a nice career with the Niners in like the 90s and early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
Quite a long time.
Well, Robert, it was nice knowing you, but I don't know. They got an issue. They think they're good. That's their problem. They think they're good, and their offense stinks, and they're not bad defensively. But what are we? 4 games, 5 games in? What are they?
5.
They're 2-3, and they got Buffalo coming up. It's funny because they're playing Buffalo next week, and whoever wins that game is in first place in the AFC East. So they fired their coach before a battle for first place in the division.
And Buffalo, of course, has been a disappointment to this point, and Miami is non-existent because of Tua. And who else we got in that? Oh, New England is trying not to win. By the way, what a low-life SOB Belichick is that he's now doing gambling ads. Have you seen these?
Yeah. Is it DraftKings?
He's doing everything.
Underdog.
Underdog.
What a miserable human being that that he's doing. He's sitting there, in a lawn chair saying this guy's going to score a touchdown to get paid. What? I mean, God, he's got more money than God from all those years.
He's got like 5 media gigs, man. He's doing the Manning cast. He's doing McAfee. He's doing Underdog.
He has a 23-year-old girlfriend. Good for him, but he's living.
Yeah, he's a bad guy, but he could coach. I'll say that. He was pretty good. But
some people saying that the Jets should bring in Bill Belichick. I think that's the one organization, and the Browns maybe. I don't know, that he would probably not take millions of dollars to go coach.
By the way, when's Stefanski going to take the fall here? From 2-time Coach of the Year to with this train wreck is
I would not fire him, but you're probably right. Yeah.
How about the fact that the number 1 team in Cleveland is suddenly the Guardians after all these years of being sucking wind? Even when they were going to the World Series, they were more worried about the Browns. So. That's quite a reversal of to say the least. But firing the Jets coach. That's not how many have they had since?
That's a fun game.
Woody Johnson, who's completely he's a lunatic. Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, I've got the list up here of New York Jets head coaches in recent years. Can you tell me? It's not as long of a list as you would think.
So Gase was before Saleh, right?
Yep.
Adam Gase was before Saleh.
Bowles was before Gase.
Todd Bowles. They gave him 4 years. Nice job.
Mm-hmm. Rex Ryan, yeah.
How long did Gase last?
Eric Mangini.
How long did Gase last?
2 years.
Yeah, 2 glorious years.
Who is he? What? I didn't even know who he was.
Incompetent.
He was Peyton Manning's. I mean, whatever. Offensive coordinator. Like when Peyton Manning threw 55 touchdowns in Denver, I think Gase was the offensive coordinator. And of course, the Jets are like, whoa, we got the mastermind behind Peyton Manning's 55 touchdowns. No.
We got another guy fired with Roger. I hope. Why don't they come and hire Flores? Didn't they watch the game? Why don't they hire Flores? I suppose now they think they need an offensive guru, though, huh? Plus, Aaron's has to perform benediction over whoever they hire.
But
that's what I'm thinking.
And now the problem in the middle of the season is you fire your head coach, and okay, let's look at the coordinators. Well, you can't put Nathaniel Hackett in the head coach spot because we saw what happened with him
Yes.
So it's
his Rogers this has got to be it, right? They're not going to let him come. What is he? 41? Is he 41 now? 40?
He's 40 right now.
They can't let him come back. It's
they're the Jets though, Pat. They can. That's their problem.
desperate.
Yeah. I'm shocked that they have never figured out a way to get themselves their own stadium. Haven't you? And I mean that they're still out there playing with the Giants. Those two are going to be telling us how they need a new stadium pretty soon, aren't they? I mean, that thing's 20, 30 years old almost, right?
No, it's like 15 years old, right? Because they moved across the parking lot.
Yeah, I know. But
so MetLife's like 2008 or something.
I think I think I've been in the new one, haven't I? Haven't I been in the new one? I think so. I'm not sure. I've been there, I think. And
we did have we played a Super Bowl there. Very risky to schedule that in early February, but the weather worked out.
Well, our fellas just they didn't let them stay in Britain as long as they thought, though. In England, though, they were home last night, right?
Mm-hmm.
How does that work? Like, so it's a bye week. Let's say you want to just sort of hang out in Europe for a few days. Do you have to fly back home with the Vikings, or could you?
No, you can.
Like, if you're Stephon Gilmore, you're 34, you want to enjoy the fruits of your labor, you can stay over there, right? Maybe go to Amsterdam for a couple days.
Sure, that's right. Yeah,
get baked.
Go walk along and look at the gals in the windows. What the heck? Just for it's. No, I've never been there. Who's been to Amsterdam? I haven't been to Amsterdam.
I was there when I was 14.
Yeah. Huh?
Wow, Judd, growing up fast.
Yep, I was there when I was 14.
I wonder if it's still the king of. Decadence, Amsterdam. If it's still unique in that area, to say the least. Yeah. So
as long as Jordan Addison flies home and just kind of hangs out low key.
This is the. I wonder if we got someone following him, or if we got him a driver. I think we should have him a driver, right?
Yeah, you're right.
He's pretty good. I'll say that. He's pretty good. As second receiver.
By the way,
I went back and looked at the game again. JJ got away with murder in that game. Some of the penalties they called were pretty iffy, including the push-off for the big play down there, where they all of a sudden they move the ball 30 yards downfield. He's become Jerry Rice now. He can do anything he wants to.
Hey, don't look now in this division, but all four teams in the NFC North are above 500. The Bears got to 3-2 with the Packers 3-2.
They stink.
All four teams have a plus 20 point differential or better as well.
Yeah. The Bears are not good. It's who they're playing. They're gonna get beat. The Bears aren't good, but the other two, Packers are better than I thought they were, and the Lions are, they're good. They're not as good as everybody thought they were, but they're.
How many good teams are in the NFC? It's not. It's a weird hodgepodge right now.
Yeah. Well, there's certainly not any in the NFC South, right?
Kirk threw for 500 on.
Well, that's true. That's true. And the Saints look like the Saints might have lost their quarterback last night, Derek Carr. So you can forget them. And I don't know. It's
the Niners are 2-3.
The Niners are. They're all beat up to hell.
That's
right?
The thing.
They don't have any.
It's injuries.
They're players. Yeah. And right now, we're riding high injury rise, right? Who's hurt?
Aaron Jones.
He was going to get an MRI on that hip yesterday, and the hope is that he can, with the week off, play against Detroit. But here's the thing with him. We saw what happens to the offense without him.
Yes, yeah.
That was not a pretty sight.
Same thing that happened to the Packers offense without him.
You're right.
He is, he's good. I mean, what his injuries with the Packers? Do we know what it was that he did?
It was a hamstring and knee
that he kept having problems with
last year. Yeah. Hamstring and knee.
But before that too, it's been like 3 years, right? Wasn't he hurt 2-3 years?
Yeah,
he's missed chunks of.
Yeah, he missed. I think he missed a total of 5 games last year, but before that, he didn't miss a ton of games. He missed games,
really?
but not like a bunch of them. So
Well, the Packer fans, I know when I was lauding the signing and the fact they got him so cheap, and he'll get hurt. So I'm sure they're very happy that they found out that he had a hip injury.
I'll
So,
still take him for 10 or 11 games
Yeah.
oh
over
God, yeah, oh
the
yeah. I mean,
alternative.
that's okay. That's fantastic. You know, the Chiefs. I watched them some last night. Wait, they moved the ball. They got 400 yards, and they only scored 23 points. What's going on there? Plus, they lost their best receiver. Right, that Reusse is done for the year. So
Yep. It's
yeah,
I mean, they got Juju Smith-Schuster back out
I think
there.
I think the power ratings in the NFL. We're number one, baby. We're number one. We should be number one. Are we number one?
I mean, it's a legitimate discussion. I mean, the Chiefs just finding ways to win is a thing. So I would put them in the same area, but yeah, the other teams that you would look, the Ravens are on fire with 3 straight wins. So I would put them in the conversation. But the Bills are kind of back to their old just blowing games and not showing up. The Niners are banged up. It's kind of Chiefs, Vikings, maybe Ravens, and then Lions are probably going to have something to say too.
Yeah, the Ravens are. I gotta say, Lamar, who I like to badmouth, had a pretty good game on Sunday. So, let me bring something up though here. I mean, I think we can all send out condolences to our friend Johnny Krasinski because not only did he lose Cat, his buddy, but now he's lost Shams. Shams going to ESPN. Did you see that?
That's
yes,
yeah. How about that news? It's
Yeah,
crazy.
they stole. So ESPN is still more powerful than the Athletic. Is that what we're led to believe here?
yeah, that's safe to say.
They
Pat.
got a couple more dollars in their Disney budget than the
That's
New
safe
York
to
And
Times
say.
has.
they're also you get TV exposure too if you're
Yes,
if you're on the
and
in
you
the
also have a
NFL.
contract with the leagues, which helps your insider be better at his or her
Yes,
job.
yes, because because you're going to the you're supposed to give him information, right? So
Exactly.
Yeah.
that's
There were some rumblings. I think the New York Post had a piece a week and a half ago that Jeff Passan was in the mix to be the lead NBA insider for that they were going to move
really
him across sports.
well. ESPN was taking horrible heat when Wojo. This was proof that they don't care about news anymore, right? Wasn't? Did I read that people were saying all they want is Stephen A. Smith screaming idiotic things, and that's all they want in their NBA coverage. But I guess this kind of refutes that, huh?
The best report was the one that came out, I think, last week, that there was consideration to making Schefter the NFL and NBA
Yeah.
insider. Both jobs.
Schefter can be very desperate, though. Schefter can. What was the one that he drove me crazy with a couple of weeks ago? The one he just, that. Oh, somebody was interested in Jefferson. Who was that? That was like the day the Vikings
Oh, the
were
Niners.
on
Yeah.
TV. The Niners were interested
Yeah.
in Jefferson.
They put a phone call in, but the Vikings said
What
no.
6 months ago, too.
are you that hard up, Schefter, that you got to break that one out? He's not going anywhere. And it's what can I get a headline here? I can say suddenly it becomes the 49ers were this close to getting Jefferson. That was the one. I saw that and I lost more respect for him when I saw that one, that you had to break that one out on the day the Vikings were on TV. What do you got for us on the Vikings, Adam? Oh, I don't know. I'll make up something. So don't worry about it.
Just they probably have like little like side scoops that you can kind of sit on for. If it's not out there after 3 or 4 months, you can just kind of sit on it because no one else is going to break it. It's like his little side bag of scoops.
Now this isn't scoops, but this was when our guy Buster was covering the Yankees, right? And the deadlines weren't as horrible for the New York Times then as they are now, but he's doing World Series games that end at 1 o'clock in the morning in New York, and the next day you read the Times and you got this like very coherent uh, gamer with stuff about inside interview quote stuff from the hero of the game. So I talked to Buster. I said, what are you doing here? He says, he does long interviews in spring training that he didn't use. He just kept them. And when you're in the, when you're in the postseason and somebody wins the ball game for you, and you got 20 minutes to write it, and for the New York Times at 1:00 in the morning, he just breaks that out and because I've never done that in my life. I never saved anything. It's like like then you're desperate. But it was that's so this is a weaker version of that same thing. Is okay? I'll break out this scoop for I'll sit on this great Justin Jefferson scoop. Which
See, now, like with technology, you could have digital documents of every quote that you've ever transcribed.
Yeah.
And then you could just search. If you were looking for, hey, this person hit a walk-off home run in game 2 of the ALDS, let me do a Control F search for anything they might have said in the last 5 years.
Yeah, that's true.
If you're planning ahead, I guess, as a beat writer.
Yes, of course. The New York Times would now say, hey, we'll pick up something for the Athletics.
We don't have a sports section. Don't worry about it, Buster. Don't bother filing.
You're good. Anyway. So we got Lynx Fever. I'm going to be there tonight covering that tilt. I was looking it up. Whenever we won championships those 4 years that they won, and it actually played in the finals, got beat twice in the finals. So 6 years and 6 times in 7 years they played in the finals. We had the best record in the league, all but one of those. So this would be very unusual, as their championships go. I mean, they ended up with a great record, but they went into virtually all of those other seasons expecting to be the best team in the league. So this is like the first surprise run that they've made. And you got to like them to win tonight, I think, at home. And Connecticut, not UConn. UConn. The league should be, by the way, UConn versus that's the All-Star game every year should be UConn.
It should. That'd be great versus the world.
UConn versus the world.
That's a good idea.
I can't believe Connecticut's going to shoot as well as they did the other night because they're not that great a shooting team. So it'll be hopping, and it's 7:00. So that's good.
So if the Lynx, by the way, the Liberty are in on the other side of the bracket in the WNBA finals. They are the Buffalo Bills of the WNBA. They're actually 0 for 5.
Yeah, I didn't
in
realize
WNBA
that.
finals.
Yeah, they've never won one. And interesting, I think I might have mentioned this yesterday, but Brianna Stewart's their star, and FISA is our star, and they're the two people that have founded the 3-on-3 league that's going to allow the players not to go to Russia and places like that to play in the off season to make some money. They still get away with not paying them much, though, don't they?
I mean, Caitlin Clark's base salary is like 75 or 80K, and yet she makes millions in endorsements, probably, right?
Yes, but it's they still it's not exactly like tennis where the women got enough power to end up getting equal pay in the Grand Slams and stuff like that. So it's not exactly like that, but it's. For a summer, this is probably the zenith of it, and Caitlin's had a lot to do with it. But I think also, there's just kind of more appreciation for the game right now, too, in general, than there used to be. Although, I'll tell you what, that first game that UConn won 73-70, that was old-time women's basketball, jump on the floor, roll around, and get jump balls about every minute. That was an old time.
Those first two games were right.
Yeah, the first one was really ugly, and the second one was, almost the same. Yeah, so the first two were really that way, but they still do best of 5. So anyway, hey, we got to mention the feisty AL Central. All of a sudden, Kansas City gets gets its win over the Yankees, and then Detroit, that Scooble, he holds them to nothing, and they get a home run off Clase, and now that one's 1-1.
Boy, Class A, man. Not
The
a
Class A
great
thing, but that's inevitable, man. You cannot Stephen Vogt might qualify for the Dusty Baker 2024. Yes. I'm going to just abuse you until you fall apart award.
Yes, yeah, he does. It is amazing how he, and it's like this is not like having him pitch in a tie in a tie game because you want to in the 10th inning you want to hold them scoreless, and then you get in the 10th inning. This is they don't put the guy on second base in the playoffs, so you're just running him out there now with no guarantee you're going to score the next 5 innings or something. So I did not agree with that. I did not. But anyway, I was very proud of our Kansas City's last night to beat the Yankees. By the way, I thought I was in my car and I was listening to this on the MLB network. And I thought the babbling, nonsensical John Sterling had retired. But he was doing the Yankee game.
He's back.
They brought him back for the playoffs?
Yes, I think he came back to the booth in, I think, the last week of the season.
Why?
This was all
terrible.
This was all orchestrated. As far as I'm concerned, he got tired of the games. He's like, I'll come back, because they had Craig Carton call 2 games.
Okay.
So they didn't care.
My friend Susan Waldman, I love her and we get along fine, but she's what a job correcting. What is your job? Correcting John Sterling's misinformation. That's my job. That's what I've done now for 20 years. Every time he says something stupid, I got to tell him what actually happened. So, but I couldn't believe they brought him back. Yeah. You finally get rid of him and you bring him back. Unbelievable. Yeah. So he was. Yeah, I listened for about an inning and a half. He had to correct himself 12 or 13 times. It's unbelievable.
It's probably for the best for the Royals to just win a couple more games here for everybody involved.
Not nearly as good as Phil Rizzuto, who used to pack up and be on the bridge after 8 innings. And if they went into extra innings, you have to turn around and come back. And sometimes he didn't bother to come back. The scooter's big deal was to get out of the stadium and beat the traffic, even though he was the play-by-play guy. Yeah, what a beauty he was. So
amazing. All right, Pat. Well, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday here, and we'll talk to you in a couple days.
I'll be at the Lynx game tonight, watching the festivities and being next to the very nervous Kent Youngblood, who will be filled with pessimism as always. His writing's filled with optimism. His life is filled with pessimism when he's watching his team, so it's always fun. All right, see you
Amen.
later.
All right, there he is. Reusse Unchained, presented by Josh Arnold.